talking a lot about feeling emotions, but what do I actually mean when I say that? And how do you know that you're actually feeling your emotions and not doing something else? Well, there's a couple of situations that it could be what people think of as feeling emotions, and we're going to discuss some of these things and highlight some differences so that you can understand which one of these things you're actually doing, okay? So when I'm saying you need to feel your emotions, what I mean is allowing suppressed energy to flow out of the body. When I say you're living in emotion, which is a concept that I'm bringing up now for the first time, it is not allowing suppressed energy to flow through the body. And finally, there's also projecting emotion or projection. And what that is directing energy at another person. So, to highlight the various differences between these three concepts, let's use an example here. Let's say you're driving in traffic or you're driving somewhere and someone cuts you off or does something to generate anger inside of you. Or rather, someone does something and anger is generated inside of you because really the other person is not generating anger inside of you, and that's part of what this is all about. So again, the example is you're driving and you're cut off. You start to feel anger. What do? Well, if you sit in your car and say, "Fuck you!" to the other person, you are projecting anger at them. And this is non-loving from the Creator's perspective. You don't have to take my word for it. You can ask her yourself. But when, again, rage is an expectation not being met. So if you're sitting or you're in traffic and someone does something to you, your expectation that other people will obey all the rules of the road or will not do anything negative to you is actually an expectation. If you respond by projecting anger at that person, you are also committing an error. Another thing is, let's take the same situation. You're driving in traffic and someone cuts you off, okay? But you don't feel your anger. You can feel it generating inside of you, but you push it down. That's living in emotion. And oftentimes, when people live in emotion, they will feel anxiety. Or like anxiety is actually low-level fear, like attempting to get itself out of you. Okay? But it's the same thing with anger. Like you can just sit there and seethe in anger, and that emotion will continue to build up inside of you. So that is also non-loving because you're not treating yourself in the best possible way. Now, the third way that you could respond in this situation is by feeling emotion. And what I mean by that is you're feeling your emotion in a general way. You are not projecting it at a person because you, as a human, recognize how the soul operates. That your soul has played a role in attracting an event in order to ignite your anger, to challenge your expectations, and to feel through your fear and let you know that you've got sadness there. So, how does one feel their emotions? Well, again, going back to our example, let's say you're driving and someone cuts you off. That would be feeling your anger in a general way because you are acknowledging that you've got anger inside of you. You are acknowledging that it needs to come out of you, but you're not projecting it at anyone because you recognize that the person who cut you off did not put an error in your soul. The only reason why you're experiencing this event is because you have an error in your soul. Well, there's also, it could be the case that you're so full of truth that you're attracting error, but I think it's safe to say that most people on the planet are not in that condition. So, for the purposes of this video and anyone watching this video, I would highly recommend that you take the first view, that there are no accidents and that everything that you attract is a result of your soul attempting to get you to feel something out of you. And that by feeling your emotions and allowing the emotions to move through you, because again, our soul is just energy in motion, and that's really all we are, allows you to drain this garbage from your soul and allows more ability for your soul to manifest joy, bliss, and loving situations. If you're full of anger, fear, and grief, it locks down your ability to experience positive emotions. And that's such a horrible, it's so sad when you see people walking around that do not even have the ability to experience or feel joy because they're locked up with all this stuff. So, going through it one more time, we can feel our emotions, we can live in our emotions, we can project our emotions at other people. Projecting is directing energy at someone specifically. Living in emotion is totally ignoring and suppressing your own emotions. Oftentimes, like, in some situations, children are taught that it is not polite to feel their anger. Or that, for example, the generalization here is that oftentimes women are taught that displaying anger is unladylike and that they shouldn't do it. Well, that actually further suppresses your rage and it continues to build up over top of that. So that's exactly not what I'm talking about. You want to feel it out. Feel it out.